Right, we've got two gents waiting in the wings here.
We certainly do. We've got two gentlemen. They're from all the way over there, and they're going to come all the way over here to be on a screen right there, I guess. We have...
Well, we should be able to hear them now as well.
Hello, gents. Can you hear us?
Hi, everybody.
Hello there. So we have...
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I really don't know.
We have Brad and Joe Mock, the Balloon Brothers. Hey, that sounds like a good duo name.
Ah, what a good idea.
What a good idea. And we're going to welcome them to the Geodome. It sounds like the Welcome to the Terrordome by Public Enemy, or the Thunderdome by, what's that? Mad Max, of course.
So we need you guys to show these guys some love. They've been getting ready for us, working hard, ready to roll, and let's have some fun with these guys. So we'll leave it to you. We'll be here in the chat as well. So if there's anything you need,
we may go to the pub.
Well, there's that as well. Okay. So we'll leave it to you, gents. We'll hand it over. Enjoy.
Have fun.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for all your hard work, Keith and Dom.
Get some food, get some rest. So here we are.
Here we are. Q Corner.
Q Corner.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
It's really awesome. Let's get some thanks out of the way.
Right.
Who are we going to thank today?
I think today we're going to thank the whole Pioneer crew, including Ted and
Betty.
Yes.
From this day forward, you shall refer to me by the name Betty. Thank you, Ted and Betty from Pioneer, the whole Pioneer staff. Keith and Dom, first and foremost, you guys are awesome. All your hard work is very much appreciated, and you guys are the best. So thank you.
What about Mama Bear?
Our Mama Bears, Sylvia and Eve Antonello.
Yes.
Love you, ladies.
Love you, ladies. So, Balloon Brothers.
Balloon Brothers.
We are actually real brothers.
Real brothers.
I'm the oldest. He's the youngest.
I'm the youngest, but the most handsome.
Oh, you stole my line.
I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah, I was going to say that. So, a lot of people don't know us. We are American Twisters. We've been on the scene for about a year, even though we've been twisting for how long?
For about 8 years now.
8 years. 8 years. And where are we from?
From Buffalo, New York.
Okay. That's just right outside of who knows where.
AKA Regions Unknown.
Right.
Buffalo, New York, where it's cold, lots of chicken wings, and lots of family vibes.
Right.
Love it here.
It's a good town. It's a good city. And let me ask you this. How did we start twisting?
We started twisting 8 years ago. Mr. Brad was asked by a church event to do a carnival, and they needed somebody to twist balloon animals.
Right.
So they asked Mr. Brad, would it be possible to
twist balloons? I said absolutely not, because I thought that was the dumbest question anybody had ever asked me. And yet I did it anyways. Little to be known to me, I fell in love with it.
Yeah, I mean, we never thought we would be balloon artists. We never had a hankering to do balloons. So when Mr. Brad came across it, it was out of left field, and we didn't expect it, and we fell in love with it instantly. Like, literally instantly, we fell in love with it.
I saw how the crowds were reacting to just a simple balloon animal, and I saw the way a child's heart would change from crying to pure joy in a moment. And so I told my brother, I said, Joe, we really got to look into this, because I think we could make $100 a day doing this.
Yeah, I mean, when we seen it, the smiles that it puts on people's faces, the smile that it put on our own faces, to be able to create something that you didn't expect to before, with a skill set that you didn't expect to have. Literally within the first few days, we fell in love with balloons totally.
Right.
We knew from that moment on that this is something that we wanted to do. And just like anything that we do, we put our whole heart into it. So that's pretty much why we're here today, because Qualitex is doing that for the community. And so we want to help put some love and some stuff back into the community for you guys.
And when we started twisting, we're hard workers by nature. So whenever we do something, we really put our minds and hands on it. And when we started twisting, we didn't really know any of the rules. We didn't know what to do, what not to do. So really, we just were like going with the wind. And so probably a lot of times we were doing things that we probably shouldn't have been doing. But what did that do? that helped us develop our own style.
Sure. Anytime you step outside of the box and try things differently, you come up with new results and new recipes to make things. We have a very unorthodox style of twisting in the sense that we couldn't afford the schooling or to go to classes or everything when we started. So even though we learned from YouTube and a lot from the community, it was a lot of hands-on work that we had to do because we couldn't see anything firsthand to get the skill set and the techniques to do it. So there was a lot of sitting at home many days running through bags and bags of balloons, trying to get our techniques and stuff set out to where people have a certain style that they see us now as, where our pieces look a certain way, like cartoony. They're always big and have a lot of wow factor. And the stuff that we do doesn't take long no matter how you look at it. We always do everything to be done within a small time frame because that's how we learned to twist. Is we wanted to do all the awesome stuff that we see all over the internet, but we only have a short amount of time with our lines or with our birthday parties. So we wanted to make sure that the pieces that we create are easy enough to do either in line work or birthday stuff, but still have a tremendous mind-blowing wow factor for your customers.
And we like making big stuff.
Love making big stuff.
We like making big stuff. Yeah. Now, let's say, who are some people that influenced us?
People that influenced us, they actually, first, I would say the community as a whole influenced us.
Right.
Because whether it's a high caliber artist in the industry or whether it's just your everyday twister who's just starting out, every single person who we see post things online, you've all contributed to what we do.
Right.
We see things done in a different way, and we think, oh, that would look better here. So every little twist or idea that you guys come up with always has a place in the balloon community. So don't think that if you're not an established artist or you don't have your own workout, that you don't have something to give to the community. You have much more than you could ever imagine, that you help other people grow. So thank you to everybody in the community.
So people from America, people from Canada, people from Europe, people from Korea, people from Japan, people from South America, people from Australia. Really, when it comes to Balloon Brothers, the whole world has fed into us. So really, we got a lot of thanks to the whole community, the whole world community of balloons. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we just saw Nicole Gregg's class.
Oh, very good.
We love Nicole Gregg.
Right.
Amazing pieces and perfect example of a person who inspires us. And we were just talking about the alien, gets us to think outside of the box and make awesome, awesome new stuff.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What are we going to be making today?
The main class theme is geodomes. And we use that term in the sense that we're going to use a geo blossom or a donut, and we're going to make that as the top piece, whether it's a head or the top piece of the sculpture, the dome being the top part. So we're going to use this as the top parts of our sculptures today.
The main focal point.
Yes, and they're going to be all easy, all fast, and all have their own visual appeal that'll make you go, wow. And a couple of the pieces in here are really fast, and you can do them tomorrow when you go out, and you can have people's minds.
And you know what's nice about a couple of these pieces? There's different variations that you can do. It's not just one piece. You can make multiple things with it.
Sure. Every time we make something, we try to make it versatile in the sense that I don't just want to make one balloon. I want to make a balloon that can be transformed into a dozen other things.
Right.
To help save me time, stock, and thinking power when I'm on the spot, I now have a base design that can be adjusted to do many things. So,
you know what's awesome about geos and blossoms and donuts is that they kind of get overlooked, and there is such a variety of things that you could really do with them. And you're going to show us something awesome that you can do with a 16-inch geo donut.
Yeah, oh yeah, we love geos. Word through the grapevine is that some of the colors are going to be not around forever, and that saddens us a little bit because not everybody uses geos, but we use geos a lot, and not just for tires or for the basic things that we normally use them for. We use geos for many, many, many things, and we love these things. we're not trying to plug anything, but I'm telling you guys, seriously, buy these things, especially white blossoms and white donuts. These things are like toilet paper right now. They're gold, right? Toilet paper gold. Can't stress enough how awesome these are. Buy them, please.
Don't let these die.
Yeah, don't let these die. It would be a real shame to let these go out of the community. We need awesome, strange balloons like this to help make our customers see the wider range of things out there instead of twisting the same, 260, 350, 646 type of stuff. Doing different balloons in different shapes gives a whole different perspective on what you're doing with the balloon. There, yeah,
right.
So
what are we going to do?
We're going to do, we did a premium tutorial last year, and it was called Geodomes, which was our inception of using geos for head pieces and top pieces.
Okay.
And what we're going to do today is a Panda Bear, one of my favorite, super awesome balloons. Not hard to do at all.
Right.
It's a combination of our loop-to-loop with our geodomes. If you don't know what our loop-to-loop is, go to our YouTube channel, Balloon Brothers, and there's a tutorial for that. You can learn to do that. So without further ado, let's get started.
So what can I do to help you?
I'm going to need, I'll have you hold the balloons for this one.
Very good.
So we're going to take a 16-inch white donut, and we're going to flip it inside out. So what I'm doing is I'm stretching the balloon, and I'm pushing with my thumb. I'm going to push the balloon from right here through the nozzle. So I'm stretching it, and then I'm pushing it, and then I'm pulling it out. And you should have kind of a half circle, almost looks like a moon shape. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a raisin or a bead, whatever you have, raisins or beads. And we're going to make one to put, I'm just using a 350. It doesn't matter. You can grab any type of scrap. And make sure that your knot is very thick and chunky. You want a nice, big, chunky knot on there. And I'm going to clip the rest. And I'm going to stuff the raisin inside, and I want the raisin to sit right at the bottom of that crest right there. So when I put my raisin in through here, I'm pulling the balloon, because when I pull the balloon, the raisin will fall down, so I don't have to worry about trying to stretch it and get it all down there. Just pulling the balloon like this will get the raisin right to where I need it, right there. Now what you want to do is separate the rest of the balloon from the raisin, and you want to push the raisin. You want to pull the balloon. I'm pulling the raisin right here, and I'm pulling it and stretching it away from the rest of the geodome right there. And then what I want to do is hold that raisin with this hand, and then I want to tie the same color as my head. So I'm using a white 350.
And we're using a 350 because 260s aren't as strong.
Yes, a 260 is not as strong because we're going to be pulling this, and you want a lot of strength, tensile strength on the balloon. So a 350 or a 646 if you're not comfortable with a 350. So what I'm going to do is hold that raisin, make sure it's nice and tight up there, and then I'm going to wrap this 350 around and tie it 2 or 3 times.
Beautiful. Now, this seems like a lot of work, but it's actually not. And if you do a little prep, you can pop these out crazy quick.
Yes, and we do these, like we'll prep these ahead of time.
Yeah.
So when we get to the job, we don't even have to do all this work. We can just blow it right up and literally eliminate 1 minute and 30 seconds to 2 minutes on our sculpture by doing this.
And people will say, how did you make that so quick? A little bit of prep time.
A little bit of prep. So now that we have it inside out, we have our raisin in there tied around with a 350. We're going to re-put the geo back out to normal state by flipping it back inside out again. And now once you flip it out, you should see there's a dimple in one side of your geo. It's usually on the opposite side of the nozzle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our pump and we're going to insert it in between the donut and the 350. Now, the one key part to this is you want to hold the 350, so I wrap it around my finger to make sure that it's locked. And then once I do that, you're going to pump it. And once you pump it, you're going to start to see the geodome or the geodonut start to distort at an angle. So now that we've got this, you can start to see it's coming into shape nicely. And we're going to not blow it up all the way, about 90% of its volume. So we have this right here. And then what I'm going to do is let go of my 350 while still holding it tight right there, because we still want this 350 hanging. And then we're going to pull to our liking and get that center part down more like this. Make sure you get it. This is about where I want it. So when I'm done, I'm going to twist the whole balloon, not just the 350 around. I'm going to twist this geo so that the back part is twisted and no air will release. And then I'm wrapping around multiple times, and then I'm tying everything together. And so now, this is our basic head structure right here. You can pull it as hard as you want. You can get it real deep, or you can leave it out more. You can also squeeze the chambers on one side to get one side bigger and make the other side slope in more. It takes a little bit of work to do, but you can get it to go deeper down here and less air in here, however you want. And if you also see that it's off center, you can also roll it to get everything back centered. So this will be our bottom jaw. This will be our forehead. This will be where our eye socket goes. Mr. Brad? Thank you, sir. So next we'll do our eyes. And for our eyes, we're going to use a 5-inch round black balloon. And we're going to blow it up maybe about 3 to 4 inches. And then what we want to do is tie it tight. Make sure the nozzle or the knot is close to the balloon and not the nozzle. And then we're gonna split it. And these are gonna be our eyes, just 2 black eyes. And then we're gonna fit these. We're gonna stretch it a little bit and then fit them.
You know, it's really nice. Imagine this was green and those were black eyes. That'd be a nice alien.
Yeah, it'll be a great alien. There's actually many different designs you can do with this. You might have seen people doing them online. It's an amazing, awesome, easy design, and we're going to show you right now how easy it is. So we're going to add some more features to the head to make it more proper.
So what's next?
We're going to do some ears this time.
Very good.
I shouldn't be blowing these up by mouth. I will use my pump from now on, promise. So it doesn't matter how much you blow this up. You can use 1 balloon, 2 balloons. Just make it to your comfort. Don't worry about using as little stock as possible. I try to use as little stock as possible, but sometimes that's not the case. So we're going to make 2 flower petals about my hand width each flower petal. So we're going to take a flower petal and we're going to make it twist it, and then I shove the nozzle through to lock it. I break it, save it, and then make another one because we're going to need 2 of those. So I'm making another one. Put the nozzle through. Tear it. I'm tying them. I always tie twice to make sure it's secure, and then I'm going to clip the excess off there. So I'm tying the other one, and then I'm clipping the excess off there.
Okay. What's next?
So next, I'm going to make my nose, which I took the same balloon that I just used to make the ears that Mr. Brad folded, and I'm just using the excess from it. And I am going to make a pinch twist without making a pinch twist. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to make about a 2-finger bubble, break it, and then I'm going to tie the ends together So when I tie these ends together, it makes the shape of a pinch twist. Instead of making the pinch twist and then breaking it off, you can just tie these two. The harder you pull them, the more of the pinch twist shape it ends up becoming. So once I have these pinch twists, no, the pinch twist, I'm going to clip the excess off the back. So this nose will enter the divot here, which you can see, and that'll be hidden by the nose right there. So once you see the divot, don't worry, that'll be hidden with the nose right there. So now that we have our pieces, some people use glue, some people use dots. We love U-glue. It's not a promotion or anything. We just like U-glue. So that's what we're going to use to put our ears and everything else on. So we just take one glue dot, just one little dash, and then I'm going to place it on my ear, the bottom of my ear, right there. And then whatever side I have my glue on, that's the side I want to be for my ears. So I'm going to put the one ear here, and then I'm going to grab another glue, put it right on. There's the knot right here, and I'm going to put it just above or below the knot. Don't put it over the knot because it'll bunch the glue up, and it'll be very hard to get the glue to stick on the sculpture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eye it up and make sure that my pieces are fairly even. And then we're going to take our nose and we're going to place a glue. The knot is right here where I tied it, and I'm going to flip it to the side and put a piece of glue right there on it. So I'm popping just one piece of glue right there. And I'm going to tear the backing off. Can't live without dashes? I can't either. So once I have that on there, I want my glue to be on the bottom side of the nose. So I'm going to place it there, and I'm going to give it a little push to work it into the sculpture a bit like that. Now once we have that, we're going to add some more flavor to it, but we're going to do the body first, and then I'll add the last little pieces right at the end, right there, okay? So for the body, we're going to use two 646s, Onyx Black, and we're going to blow them up as big as you want, but I like to blow up one bigger than the other to give kind of like a staggering look to the body, like he either has big shoulders and small feet, or big hind legs and a small front set of shoulders and arms. So we're going to blow them up. I'll use my pump this time. Told you. And I'm going to tie them end to end. I'm just going to make one big flower petal, one big loop. And I'm going to do that twice. There you go, sir. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the whole concept of using, this is what we call loop-de-loop. When you use two loops, we call that loop-de-loop. And this is going to function as our body, like this.
Right. Now, why do we do that?
Well, the whole premise of this technique is putting the head in the back section of the sculpture using pressure to keep everything held in place.
Right. So what we do is we focus most of our energy on the face, and then we make a very simple body. So this way we can make a big, impressive piece, and it still looks good, even though it's quick.
Yes, the whole point is to make the face look really amazing and save 90% of your time on doing a body by using this. You can't do every animal with this body, but you can do a large array of animals, from bears to dinosaurs, pigs, pandas, gorillas, many things you could do. So remember, this is all based on pressure fit. If you put enough pressure, These are not going anywhere. They will stay perfectly normal. And the cool part about the Geo is when you distort it, if you notice, can you hold this real quick, sir? Thank you, sir. The back of the sculpture is a lot more flush than it would be normally. So this actually allows it to sit perfectly within inside of the Geo, just like that. It sits perfect with it.
That's cute.
So to hold these together, sorry, brother, we're going to need a either 11-inch round or 5-inch round. I like 11-inch because it allows a little bit more space to hold this in here for pressure. If you use a 5-inch, sometimes the 646 could split open and slip through. With an 11-inch, it's a lot less likely that that will happen. So we're going to blow up our 11-inch to about 5 or 6 inches. Oh, no mouth. Use mouth. I usually mouth inflate, but with all this social distancing and everything, try and use our pump a little more. So we're going to use this, and this is going to serve as our pressure and our tail. So it's got double feature, pressure, tail. So what we want to do is, we want to find an area, well, this is what we're going to do first. We want to decide if we want, one of these is slightly bigger than the other, so we want this one positioned here, where the head is going to be. So I'm going to pull the string through, and I want to pull it tight, really tight, because I want all that pressure. So I'm pulling the white string up. Hold that right there for the back. And I'm going to tie. And then I'm going to clip all this excess string. I'm going to clip that. So what I'm going to do now is adjust the tail to move up. Just adjust everything a little bit to move up. And now, what I like, you know this real quick, thank you. What I like to do sometimes for the base of the sculpture is I'll use some other geos, some 6-inch blossoms. Oops, oh, no mouthy. Got me again. Thank you, everybody, for viewing. I can't see the chat right now, but thank you guys for all of your support, all of your love. Thank you to Qualitex again for showing us all your love. Yeah. So I'm blowing up 2 6-inch blossoms, and these are going to serve as my little grass patches that the panda sits on. And I'm going to tie together, just like that. And what this allows me to do is, I just clipped off the extra excess in between them. Each foot has a little bit of scrap that is on the bottom of the foot. And that little scrap can sit right down here. Scrap right there. Sometimes you might hear. Yes. So what I was made, just in case, is you could use a 5-inch round. This one doesn't have enough air in the leftover part of the 646. So I'm just going to tie a 5-inch round. 1 or 2 fingers. 2 fingers. Yeah, about 2 fingers full. Nothing crazy. And then I'm going to stuff that. And then I'm going to put this, tie it to the back legs. I'm putting a 5-inch round. I just tied it into the juncture where the pinch twist and the other one, the pinch twist and the other balloon meet, or not pinch twist. I'm tying the 5-inch round into where the 646 is tied together, and then clipping the excess off so that all we have is a 646 with that little bubble on the end right there. And then we're going to make sure our geo is stretched out, and then we're going to stick our 646 inside there. So we're almost done. Very easy, very awesome, unique looking piece. We're just going to add some more trim to make it look even more awesome. And how we're going to do that is we're going to take a 160 white, and we're going to blow up just a little bit. We don't need a lot. We're going to make the mouth. And how we do that is, I like to make a small one, so I'm going to do about 3 fingers and do 2 of those. And I'm tying them together, breaking the excess, tying it off so it doesn't come undone on me, and I'm going to do that twice. So now we got just this little duplet of sausage bubbles right there. And we're going to take our trusty companion, our glue dashes, and we're going to put in the center of one on the bottom and one on the center on the top lip. These would be considered lips, I guess. Tear off your backing. Find a good spot on the sculpture. I usually like to put it a little bit off-center as I'm putting it in the center. You can put it in the center, but I like putting it slightly off-center. That's just my style. And for another awesome piece to add to it, we're going to add some little chewing grass for the guy. So we're going to take a 260 lime green and a 260 dark green, and we're going to cut it in the middle, slice it right in the middle, because we want to use both halves for the grass. So we're going to slice it, and now I've got 2 halves, and then we're going to tie it in the middle so that you have a piece like this.
And you want that knot there.
You want the knot right in the center, because the knot is going to allow it to be held inside of the side of the mouth. So the knot is actually very helpful. So I'm tying my other side. You have 2 pieces of grass.
Beautiful.
And then what I do is I bend it like this. I push it in, and it takes a slight bit of work, but you work it in, and then all the grass should sit out to the side. And then we do the exact same thing. I'm taking my scrap and I'm stuffing it right in the side of the mouth on the panda. And you do it to where you kind of hide the knot. You can't see the knot, but you can see the grass sticking out. And you have this awesome, beautiful little...
Now, this is a really good bring-along piece. If you develop your skills and get used to twisting this, you can actually twist this on site at a party. But you know, Dennis Scott, I watched his class earlier, and he had a really great point. If you are beginning to get into decor or do decor, and you have a twisting background, you can actually use pieces like this as center pieces or incorporate them into your decor. So if you watch Dennis Scott's class, go back and see the hints that he had, and you can use stuff like this and incorporate it into your decor.
And another quick thing that I might do, sorry about that, guys. Another thing I might add if I'm bringing this to a birthday party or something like that, another thing that is always helpful in any situation that I do, just adding a heart to anything will literally turn any regular balloon into magic. So I just go off a regular Qualatex heart. I cut off the bottom nozzle. I just grab myself 1 U-glue dash, put it right in the center, and then I figure out where I want to put it. I'll usually put it on the grass, or if I can't put it on the grass, just right there. And it becomes a ridiculously awesome bring-along piece. Everybody would love. Mr. Brad's a really tall guy, and this thing is huge. It might not be.
This thing is huge. This is huge.
It might not be easy to see in the camera, but it's huge, and it's always a huge hit wherever I do it. Always gets a lot of wow factor. Oh, how was that made? Look at the head. What is that?
This definitely expands the mind of people of what balloon art can do.
This is a premium tutorial, but we were so overwhelmed with the love that Qualatex had with doing this convention that we decided to basically teach this at the convention for free. We normally charge for this type of design, but we really thank Qualatex so much for the love they give us and the love they give you guys. So this is, from them and us to you guys, and we really hope you use it and enjoy it. Don't let these things go to waste and not use them, because Qualatex Geos are such an amazing asset to our stock that I myself didn't even realize till a couple of years ago how much of a gem these are to the community. We need to revive these things in all colors. We need to get them to make blush and gray. Like these things have
We need blush and gray. We need
many capabilities. And mark my words, hopefully someday we will push enough designs of this where they will make them blush or gray.
So let's talk about a couple designs that we can do with this. We can't make the designs now, but let's put in the minds of people some designs that we can do with it. Right?
Sure. We do a really beautiful pig in our tutorial. There's a pig, a lion, an elephant, a rhinoceros. Right. We also do a mouse. There's other famous artists. There's a gentleman named Christopher Lyle, guy in the yellow suit, snazzy guy.
Right.
He did a really beautiful cockatoo that was amazing. Amazing.
He did a fish.
So it's really versatile, and you can get many different things out of it. Just look at this. Do a geodome like we showed you with the head, and just look at it from different angles and perspectives, and see what you come up with. There's something inside of you that we haven't seen yet. So try this out and show us so we can learn that balloon as well.
Check this out. Somebody in the comments said that would be a good visor.
Oh, that would be a wonderful visor.
That would be a good visor.
Oh, Tex, let's get that mocha. Let's get that mocha jolt up, man. I need that.
Right.
So,
use your imagination. Help us make new stuff.
Let's get moving on to the next sculpture in our set. We really hope you guys like this one. We love this one. This is one of our favorite pieces to do. It's a really odd balloon, but always a huge hit.
Not just a balloon, it's a decor piece.
It is. It's a regular piece. It's decor. It's whatever you want it to be. Deliverable. You can add more things to this. You can add less things. Whatever you like. It's all up to you guys. So our next sculpture is a huge hit that we came up with last year.
Oh man, one of my favorites.
One of my absolute favorites. How did we come up with this piece?
Oh my goodness! I'm coming home from a prom, and I was at the prom probably till about 10:30, 11. And because I always call my brother every day, I called my brother up and I said, "What are you doing?" It's 11 o'clock at night. He says, "I'm downtown Buffalo doing an event and I'm trying to decorate for it." And I said, "Well, do you want some help?" And he said, No, I don't need no help. I said, "Dad, tell me where you're at because I'm coming." And so we're at this event. My brother's making crazy stuff, 8-foot cupcakes, crazy arches I've never seen before. And he has this column and he's trying to figure out, what do I put at the top of this column? And all of a sudden, his brain explodes, and the genius in him comes up with this fabulous ice cream. And from that moment on, I've been doing this ice cream at almost every one of my events. It's one of my favorite pieces. And my favorite thing to do with it is give it to a little girl who's about 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, because it's just about as big as she is.
Right? And when she's walking around the event with this big old ice cream, everybody goes crazy.
Crazy. Basically, this is a 3-foot ice cream cone. Myself and Mr. Brad, we can do this in 2 minutes.
Right,
2 minutes we can do this.
Now,
and it's 3 feet big.
Now, if you know about the different type of artistic styles of layering your balloon and identifying negative space, what you can do is you can take this to a very quick version to pop them out, or you can fill those negative spaces with different layers and just make it a very wild piece. And it's not just something that you hand out in your line work. It is definitely something that is decor as well.
Yes, absolutely. This is a line work piece. I know this sounds crazy.
Sounds crazy.
We were in Las Vegas last year in summertime.
Popping them out.
And we were popping them out in line work, and people would come up to us and said, "That's insane that you guys do this for line work." So
it's 2 minutes.
It's going to take a little longer because we're explaining it, but without further ado, let's get rocking. We're going to make a quick one, we're going to make one to show you the steps, and then after that, we're going to do some quick ones without teaching you, but just to show you how quick they are and how versatile they are by changing up a balloon here or there. It could just be a regular ice cream cone, or it can be an amazing, crazy themed ice cream cone.
Right. So we're going to do the regular ice cream cone, and then we're going to do a variation, which is like a theme, which is really fun to do during certain seasons. So the first balloon we're going to need is a Mocha 646. Now I mouth inflate. I'm going to try to use a pump. I'm probably going to embarrass myself.
Let me show you guys a trick quick before he inflates it. we want the back end of the six. We want basically all of this inflated and none of this. So what we can do is by pulling the balloon up on the pump and then wrapping our hand around it, we can only inflate just this top to make sure that the balloon looks streamlined and not wobbly when we blow it up.
Right. So as we pull that down, we probably want about a fistful of that balloon. So my brother got it down right to the perfect position for me, and I'm going to start pumping. Pray for me because I'm not used to doing this.
We're mouth inflators, so pumping is like really out of our element. A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more.
Okay, hold on. Let's see that. Okay, check this out. So we got about 4 hands. We're going to tie it, and we're going to tie it pretty good. And so, would you mind, please? Thank you very much. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a pink 16 donut, a pink one, and we're going to pump it. And this time we're going to cram it down in there a little bit, and we are going to, here we go. I'm going to squish it a little bit just because I'm nervous. And so what I did was I almost inflated it all the way, and I'm going to burp it a little bit. This is going to soften it because I'm going to do some very bad things to it. Okay, now I'm going to tie it. And I'm just going to make sure that it looks pretty symmetrical. Would you mind holding that? Now, in a little bit, we're going to use a Q-link. Right now, we're going to not use a Q-link, and we're going to use a regular round. This is an 11-inch round, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a raisin in it. If you don't have Q-links, this is the reason why we're doing a round right now, to show you what to do if you don't have a Q-link. In a moment, we're going to use a Q-link.
The real reason is because we only have white Q-links.
Don't tell them that. Don't try to sound smart. Okay, here we go. Take your contraption, take your latex, and inflate. Okay, I inflated it to a good size, probably about 3 or 4 fingers. And I'm going to let some air out, and I'm going to check it with the. Well, that looks right about the right size. Now it's nice and soft, right? It's nice and soft. So I'm going to tie it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a raisin. Now I didn't put the raisin on the inside because everybody knows how to do that. And I once saw Justin Reams do an outside raisin. So let's look for our dimple. Let's put an outside raisin in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it, I'm going to push it, and I'm going to pinch it, and I'm going to give it a little twist, and that's an outside raisin. Justin Reams taught me that.
A little bit easier than grabbing it from the inside.
Now I just tied it off, and I'm going to tie it twice. And we like to tie our balloons twice because we've had enough kids tell us, it's come undone, it's come undone. Okay, now we have this. We have this. We're going to insert this into the hole like that. And then we're going to tie it to the 646. We're going to pull it nice and tight. And we're going to tie it twice. And you have this. And we're going to trim it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to identify some negative space. And negative space is just a piece of your art that is feeling empty. And so we're going to identify this spot, and we're going to identify this spot as negative space. So here we go. We're going to take a Mocha 350. Getting used to that pump, getting used to that pump. And we're going to pump it till it has about 4 fingertails. Here we go. Okay. Tie it, because if you don't tie your balloons, not tie it. Okay, 2 pinch twists. 2 pinch twists. They don't have to be easy. We're going to do a wraparound right here. Nice and tight, and twist it. Now we're going to pop it. And we're going to wrap it in a figure 8 around the 2 pinch twist. And that should help us not to let that come undone. So we are just about done. Thank you, sir. And for the next piece,
Let's have your sculpture put together. Make sure you push, because there's some things maybe lopsided, like the Geo sitting off center. Just slide everything around. Make sure everything is sitting flush and good on the sculpture. And then you can move on to the next thing.
thank you, brother. Now we're going to make a cherry. And we're going to non-mount. We are going to do the pump. And we're going to pump it about twice. And we're going to tie it. And then for our stem, we are going to melt the plate. And we're going to puff it. So we have a red 350. And we have a dark green 260, puff inflated. We're going to take this longer tail, you see that long tail, and we're going to kind of roll it up and shove it into that red balloon. We're going to grab it. We're going to get it so that it looks pretty good. That's about the size I want it. Now, I'm holding on to that knot. And I'm going to isolate a bubble, and I'm going to pop it. And I'm going to take this and tie it. And then I'm going to take this string right here. You see my string. And I'm going to also take that above the knot and tie it. Now I'm going to trim all of the stuff that I don't want here. And so it's sitting a little funny. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that knot back up inside the balloon so that it sits the way I want. It's not really sitting the way I want, so we'll cover it with a 160.
What I was going to say is I'll show you a different thing. I was going to tell Mr. Brand. Another thing you can do is you see we have the knot or the raisin from the, not raisin, but the junk from the stem and the junk from the ice cream. You take them both. It's hard to see, but I'm going to cross them over one another. And I'm just going to, once I cross them over, I'm going to roll the cherry. I'm going to straighten it out as I go, but I'm going to keep rolling. And just keep rolling around in a clockwise motion. And I'm tucking a bit of the stem in there. And just rolling those two pieces of raisin together will allow your cherry to sit more flush on the, more flush on the sculpture like that.
If it so happens that you see that knot, you can see my knot. Who cares?
I cannot see it.
I'm going to take a 160 and I'm going to hide it. That stuff happens, you know. I mean, in the moment we're live, and so we're just going to hide it. And so we're going to take that 160 and we're going to wrap it around the bottom. We're going to.
That's also eliminating dead space from the cherry and the other part of the ice cream. So it's like adding a little bit more to the sculpture as well.
And we're going to take that and tie it. There we go. And we're going to trim it. Now, Brother Joe, now we're going to take two white 160s. There we go. And we're going to blow both of them up.
Now you can do this in pink, white. Sometimes we do it in white because it contrasts the pink and it looks a little bit nicer. But sometimes we don't have any white 160s because these pinks are like bold too. So I'll do two pinks.
So what I did is I blew up two white 160s with about a hand tail. And then I tied them together. I did about two.
No, I mean the balloons together.
And then what I did was I tied them together and I made two pinch twists. Now I'm going to do that twirly candy cane. I'm going to take my ice cream and I'm going to wrap it around. And what I did is I wrapped it in between the donut and the 350. And what we're doing is just making it look cuter. So if you got an extra couple minutes when you're twisting this, this little whipped cream type part looks really good. Now, Mr. Joe, can we identify any more negative space on it?
There is many spaces that you could say is negative. The only space that I would say right now that to keep it quick is this space right here.
Okay. Should we fill it in?
Yeah, I mean, we could absolutely fill it in. Whenever you make this and you give it to a kid, I always grab it by the bottom with my hand like this and spin it, and then hand it to them. Right.
This is I don't make this at every event, but I make this at almost every event. We got a pink 260, 4-finger tail, wrap around.
This is optional too.
Yeah.
Once you just have the line work version is just the basic part that we did.
So what I did is I took my 260, I made a pinch twist. I'm wrapping it around the portion between the 11-inch and the 16-inch deal. And I'm just fitting it snug. And I'm going to pop it. And I'm going to tie it. And again, I'm going to tie it twice. Carefully. Here we go. Get in there. Get in there. Okay. And I'm going to rest it down like that. And there's a little bit, so I'm going to put another pinch twist in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to align all of my junk up in the same area. So I'm going to take my 160, twist it. I'm going to move that there, and I'm going to align all of the junk in the same location. So we have an ice cream. Here we go. One of my favorite pieces to make. There we go. Now, Mr. Joe, what's a variation on it?
A variation on this could be snowman. I'll show you an awesome snowman quick.
Oh, snow cone.
Or yes, we call him Frosty the Snow Cone. So I take my 646, I pull it down to make sure that I only get the back end of the balloon blown up. And I'm going to blow this one up slightly bigger than the one Mr. Brad did to show you that you can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. This thing is versatile. And also, if you don't have donuts and you got blossoms, a blossom works just as awesome. And in some cases, I think it looks even better because it makes it look like it's got scoops. Like yes, it's got depth. So it looks like the actual fluff of the ice cream when they put a scoop on it. So we glue it up all the way. Tie her off. Thank you, sir. And then in a 12-inch quick link, Q-link.
Now we're going to use that Q-link. This actually saves a lot of time.
I'm going to show you a different method for the cherry too, so that it's about almost fully inflated, slightly underinflated.
Well, this is going to get a hat.
Yes, it will, but we can put that on in a second. So we're going to do just like last time where we fed one through here. I'm grabbing the nozzle, and then I'm taking this, and I'm tying them. So once we have this, we can take just a black 11-inch round and blow it up about maybe 6-7 inches, you think?
You're making a snowman hat.
Yes, I'm going to make the hat of the snowman. So
You could put a Santa hat on it.
you could put a Santa hat, a snowman like the black cap. You could do whatever you want. So I blew up a 11-inch onyx black, and I'm squeezing it. It's underinflated. I want it to be kind of oblong in shape, not round. So I want it kind of like a jelly bean. And then once I have my jelly bean shape, I'm going to tie it to the Linkaloon. Sorry, quickly. And I'm tying it. So now we got this right here. And then we're going to take a 350 black. Oops, screwed up my mouth. Sorry, guys. So used to it. So I'm going to wrap this around. I kind of want to make sure that it's round and not like a flower petal. So we kind of want it round, so we got to pull it tight. Tie it.
And you're not doing a pinch twist.
No pinch twist. I'm just tying it. I clipped off the excess, and I'm going to squeeze it like this to make sure that it's round and get it nice and round for me. And I'm going to straighten it out so all my junk is in the same area. And I'm going to do my wrap around, but I'm going to do that twice because this cone is longer, so I want to do it twice. So I'll do one to the 350, and we're doing 2 pinch twists. And then a wrap around. And I'm also going to do a 260 round. Sorry about the mouth, guys. Sorry. And I'm going to do 2 pinch twists. Oh. And I'm using a 260 under the 350 because I want it to stagger in size. And for extra stability, I'll make a bubble from each pinch twist up to that pinch twist. But don't make the bubble so big to where the balloons are separated like that. Keep it real tight and together. And I'm coming back down just for extra stability. Yes, we will. Instead of doing the twisty whipped cream stuff, what we'll do is we will take a 350 and we'll make a scarf for them. I gotta stop with this mouth plate, guys. I'm sorry. So what I'm gonna make the scarf out of is I'm gonna take a hand width, make a bubble, and then make 1 pinch twist. And then I'm going to wrap it all the way around. Make sure you squeeze it. Make sure it's nice and soft. And then we're going to wrap it all the way around until we have about the same amount as this right here. And I'm going to clip that nozzle. And I'm just making sure the scarf is sitting in the right position. There we go. There we go. And then what I will do sometimes is, sometimes I will make a, I'm just working that to make it more circular. I will take a little red balloon or something like a 160. Oh, that's a wild berry. That's another wild berry. There we go. Red 160.
We're definitely not giving these balloons away. These are going to be popped and disposed of in a quarantine situation.
Yes, we will not be giving these balloons away. I'm wrapping just a simple loop, just like I did around that, just around the hat. Simple loop, breaking it, tying it, and then I am going to cut the strap. And then for a finishing touch, we can add a little bit of art. And for some art, what? Yeah, I will use this one. I will just do 2 eyes.
I make these at one event every year. If I don't make these, they have a heart attack.
And then I will make a mouth, which I just do 1 line, And then I make a little half a circle under that. Make sure you get some eyebrows so we have some sort of light to him. So far, easy. And I don't do a carrot nose. I always do just a button around nose. It's just as cute. Add a little pink on the tongue. And then I'm adding just a little color on the sides of the eyes. But we also got to put just a little bit of hope in his eyes. Because everybody needs a little hope.
Especially nowadays.
Especially nowadays.
Snow cone. Crazy. They go crazy for it. Only bring 5 to your event because they're going to go crazy.
Yes, I recommend not bringing a whole bag of Geos with you because you will blow through them very, very, very fast.
If you can't draw, like I practice drawing so I can draw. Practice drawing if you want to save money. If not, stickers.
Yes. So, what do we have left for time?
We got time left.
We got time. I think we got time.
We got a half hour left.
We got a half hour? Okay. So with a half hour, we'll do one more design, split into 2 parts, same design, but 2 different sizes, and we'll show you how it works out. So another thing that we like to do with Geos is swords and making characters and things in Geos. So we fused the both of them with this next design, which is one of our huge hits.
Okay, so how do you make a sword with a Geo?
I'm going to show you right now. So we're going to take a Geo, 6-inch Geo lime, blow it up all the way, let some air out so that it's a little bit softer, tie it. Now this is going to be kind of hard. You want to make sure you stretch out the center as much as you can. And then we're going to take a gray 350, or silver, or whatever color you want. But I recommend gray. Blow it all the way up. And then you're going to decide how long you want your sword to be. So I want my sword to be about this long. So I'm going to flip it and tie it. But you want to keep all this balloon because this is the hard part. It may pop, it may not, but we'll take our Geo and we'll slip the nozzle through. And we'll pull the nozzle and feed it through.
Careful. Careful.
See what I mean? See what I mean? Okay, this should be much better.
Soft. Keep it soft.
Keep it soft.
Gently ram it.
So that's what you want right there. And you'll see, you notice that the Geo has 5 chambers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want these 3 chambers without the nozzle. That's going to be the front of your sculpture. These 2, the one with the nozzle and the off one, is going to be your back. So clip the nozzle, and let's get working. This is very easy as well.
Oh, we're not done?
No. So we're going to take a 260 of whatever color you want. This is a Ninja Turtle sword, so it could be 1 of 4 colors. I'm doing Leonardo because that's what the sword carrier is. So I'm blowing up a 260 about 4 fingers left on the tail. Tying it, and then I'll make 2 pinch twists. About 2 fingers each. And then I'm going to wrap it. And you notice how I said these were our front, the 3 pieces of our front? you want to pick what side you want and put the pinch twist on that side and then wrap it around very tightly. It's very important that you wrap it tight because this is like our first design in the sense that it's all pressure fit. So we have our, and I'm pushing it down to the geo so they're smushed together. Now that we have this left, we squeeze it and make 2 flower petals, about 5 or 6 fingers. You basically want to use up almost the rest of the glue. And for Ninja Turtles, I always make one loop bigger than the other. Kind of feel like that draping meshes of his master plan in the wind.
You need 160?
We will need a 160, but hold on one second. So I'm repositioning my pinch twist where I can get both of these pieces to sit off to the side like that. You might not always get them both to sit on the side, but I'll also give it a little shake. I know it doesn't look like much now, but this is super awesome. So we do this here, and then Mr. Brad has a 160, and what this is going to serve as is the bottom of our mouth right there. So now that we have our 160, we want to make sure that we have enough latex on the side of the end because we're going to tie it. So we want to measure, there's a line in the geo, you want to measure from that to that, and that's going to be your bound. So it's about a 5-finger bubble, 4 or 5 finger bubble. I tear that off, I tie the end, and then I'm going to tie both of these together so that I have my sausage bubble with a little bit of string left. And then I'm going to slide that under this, and I'm going to tuck this up inside there. Once you get it on, you won't even see it. And now you have the bottom lip of the Ninja Turtle. This is one of my favorite sculptures of last year.
Oh my goodness.
So I should have saved that 160, but take the other end that you had, blow it up, tie it. Doesn't matter how big, we're just going to make a loop this time, just like this, but around the top, for the top of his head. And make sure it's tight, just like the other one, and just tie it right in the back. I wrapped it around. Tied it twice, clipped it, and I'm going to make sure that I pull it down. I'm pushing it down so that everything sits flush because we're going to need all of this pressure for everything that's coming up right here. So now that we've got this, what we're going to do is we're going to make the handle. So we're going to take another 260, blow it up. I'd say about 4 or 5 finger tail. And do,
No, you can't leave it like that.
you can leave it like that. Yes, you absolutely can leave it.
We're going to church it up.
We'll do the eyes too, but if you didn't want to do a handle, you could just do it just like this and save yourself time. We're going to do 2 pinch twists just like the mask. And then we're going to wrap it right under the mouth and making sure that the pinch twists are on the back of the sculpture. So I'm just wrapping it around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure how far I need to go to the bottom, and then I'm going to make the bubble so that I know it'll come down like this, and then I'm going to make 2 pinch twists. Doesn't matter what size. And then I'm going to wrap my braid into that bubble cluster right there. And then you can cut it there, you can keep it. Sometimes I'll add 2 flower petals just to fill it in when we were talking about negative space. So now that we have this here,
You can't stop. You can draw.
you can draw the eyes if you want.
Why don't you show us how to add eyes?
But we came up with a really easy way for eyes that looks ridiculous. So the way we're going to do is we're going to take a 160 white, blow it up, and we're basically going to make 2 chunky pinch twists with no air in between the balloons. So we're going to make a 2-finger bubble into a pinch twist. And we're going to make it look like a pinch twist by, or not. Try that again. We're going to take a 2-finger bubble and we're going to tie it and then pull it to make sure we get that boxy, squarish pinch twist shape. And then we're going to squeeze air. So we have flat balloon in between.
Not thread twist. It's a ribbon.
So we're going to make another 2-finger bubble. And tie it and make another pinch twist eye just like that. Don't pop them though. So the cool thing about these eyes is we used to draw turtle eyes for the longest time, but we could never get that Ninja Turtle look. So all you have to do for this is turn it around for me, is slip this, take your string, slip it in between, and then pull it to the front. There's 2 little grooves in the geo
Where the eyes
is where the eyes will sit, and they'll sit perfectly right there for you like this. You could finish like this, or you could take a 260 and just pump inflate it. And then what you do is cut the scrap, and then you want to get this split in the middle, so where you can find the center, and then you tuck the center in between the geo and the 260, not on the outside, in between the balloon. Oh. You can do this with a 350, 260. So what I'm doing is I'm tucking it in between, and then I'm going over the eyes and tucking it under the 260 to give it a little bit more of an angry look. Kind of like eyebrows, but not really. But it adds so much more dimension.
How much time we got left, love? 22 minutes. Should we do a big version?
Yeah, we can also do a big version. And we're going to do that for you right now because we love you guys so much. I hope you guys are enjoying the class. You guys enjoying it?
Now check this out.
Are you enjoying it?
I love it. I completely love it. Now, I just want to say thank you because I love making balloons with you. And what we're going to do, we're going to make the same exact balloon look very big because that's what we do. So instead of 6-inch, we're going to use a 16-inch. Instead of a 350, we're going to use a 646. And we're just going to upgrade a little bit. So here we go.
We know the design, so we're just going to show you the balloons as we do it. And we may even come up with a quick one. I have an idea if we have time.
Let's see.
So let's go. And we'll show you every step of the way what we're doing so that you guys don't miss it.
And no one's getting these balloons. These are your balloons. We're showing these for you. After this, they're going to get popped.
Yes.
So we're tying. We inflated that 646 all the way. We burped it a little bit, and we tied it so it's nice and soft. Then we're going to take a 16-inch. Mr. Joe, would you mind?
I would not mind.
16-inch. Same thing. Got our 16-inch. Before we blow it up, stretch that middle out. Before we blow it up, stretch that middle out so it's a little helpful that way. Then blow it up.
Do not try this at home. No more. No, he's right. He's doing it underinflated so he can get that stretch because he's right. We're doing a 646, and you're going to have to beat this balloon up pretty bad.
Okay, now it may pop, it may not pop. If it pops, we start over. If it doesn't pop, yay.
Yay.
Okay, take your little tail nozzle piece, run it through the center.
I would even say you could have did a little bubble because 646 is so much more.
When I do check this out, I empty it, and then I pull it, and then once I pull it through, I try to reinflate it like that.
You should be able to pull it with a 646 because the strength of the latex is pretty strong.
Okay, so You've seen this before, right? Where have we seen this before? 4 or 5 minutes ago. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's do a red one. Instead of a 260 wraparound, we're going to do a 350. 4-finger tail. Soften it. 2 pinch twists.
Now, since this is bigger, sometimes the 350 has less space, and this is more. It has less space overall, and this is bigger space. We're going to need to use 2 balloons to be able to get the mask and the sashes because it's so big.
Great point.
So don't feel bad if you have to use more balloons. Just twist comfortably and what makes you feel good when you twist.
Now remember to orientate yourself, right? Because you don't want to end up building the sculpture and then having that in the front. So you want to make sure that this is back and to the south. So we want to be orientated, and we want to make sure
back and to the left.
This is the front. So we're going to put our double pinch twist right there, and we're going to wrap around.
Make sure you got to pull. You got to make sure this is really tight because it has to be even tighter than that. No, it has to be tighter than that because we have to have it pulled together so that you can push it down.
I'm going to draw the item.
You're going to draw the item? That's fair. We did the eyes with the balloon. So
now, I have this right here, and I'm going to fill this top portion, not with, I'm going to do a 160 on the top and a 260 on the bottom.
No, do 260 on top. Because 160 is going to be too small.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to take this, and we're going to do 2 pinch twists.
Now, so like I did the back on this one, I didn't do a pinch twist. You can do pinch twists if it's easier for you to do than just tying the balloon flat. Because sometimes I'll tie it like this, and it'll end up popping on me or deflate. So doing pinch twists might be the safe bet for people who aren't used to doing things like this.
Now, check this out. I blew up 260 line. I have 4 fingers as a tail, and I did 2 pinch twists. We're just showing you different options. That's all we're doing.
There's no proper way to do anything. The only proper way to do things is what makes you comfortable.
Now, this one is going to be very, very tight.
I recommend these wraparound pieces being extremely tight because, especially when you're doing these eyes, that pressure of holding down and up is everything. And once you do it 20 or 30 times, it'll be second nature. So don't even think about it. Just practice the technique and do it again and again and again, and eventually you won't even think about it.
So we got the top of our head.
Top of our head.
We got our bandana. And we're going to fill in that bandana. Sorry, brother. There you go. Thank you. Okay, here we go. So we are going to take our bandana. Thank you very much. And we're going to tie that 6-finger tail. We're going to tie it into the 2 pinch twists. We are going to make and then we're going to take this. We got about a 5-finger loop, and then we're going to take the rest of it and tie it into one. We're going to trim it.
If you're in a jam and you don't even want to do a loop, you could always just take a balloon, 350 if it was this size, and just split it and just attach that right there, or do whatever you want to do, what makes it good for you.
Okay, now we're going to do the bottom lip. Would you mind holding that?
Not at all.
Okay. We got a 260 lime green. We got a hand and a thumb. We're going to take it and let all that air out so that when we tie it, we have a nice long string. We're going to measure our mouth from this kink to this kink. And so we have about that much there. And we're going to take the rest of this and pop it. And we're going to tie it. So this is what we have here. About a hand and a thumb with 2 long tails. We're going to tie these together. And we just made this balloon. But we're just showing you how you can upscale. So we're going to take this right here. Right up inside there.
Now, when you look at the back of Mr. Brand's tank, you can't even tell that that string is there. Just tucking it into the geo hides everything and leaves that perfect bottom lip of the Ninja Turtle.
And basically, you could stop here. You could put eyes the way Mr. Joe did. You don't even have to put a handle on there. We'll put a handle on there.
And if you wanted to, you don't have to, but you could do something like instead of doing the pinch twist eyes, you could just use little 5-inch rounds blown up like an inch or two. And just tie those together and then put those in. And that could even work just as simple as what you did before.
So for the handle, I'm going to do something different than Mr. Joe, but that's okay. We're going to start with the red 260 with about 3-finger tail, and we're going to make 2 pinch twists. And we're going to tie those pinch twists into the bottom nozzle of the 646. And we're going to make a small spacer bubble, about 2 fingers, and we're going to make a pinch twist. So this is what we have at the bottom. 2 pinch twists, a spacer bubble, and another pinch twist. Then we're going to wrap around like that, kind of like a flower petal. And we're going to tie it into that. This is just an alternate version. And we're going to take our handle, and we're going to go by a hand and a thumb up and make a pinch twist. This is just a different version. Make sure everything is appropriate. We're going to slide our handle a little bit, and there we go. It's just a different handle. Still strong, still everything. Now, you want to take those eyes out, and I'll draw some eyes real quick?
Sure. I mean, you don't have to really draw them.
Well, some people draw.
Well, I'm just saying, people have seen many drawings of, like, Ninja Turtle eyes.
So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to do a angry eye, and I'm just going to fill the bottom with a little bit of white.
The reason why I use the balloon eyes is because drawing is hit or miss. So he got the eyes right, but there's times where I draw the eyes and they look horrible. So I always use the balloon eyes because it eliminates the possibility of messing up the eyes and then doing the sculpture and then being like, oh man, I did everything right, but the eyes look horrible. So you can draw, but just as a notice that the reason why we did those eyes was these type of eyes is it eliminates all the pressure holds them and it eliminates the need to draw. Me and Brad are okay drawers, so we don't mind drawing, but some people don't have the gift of the Sharpie art. But that only requires practice, so just keep your practice up and it'll look awesome regardless of what you do.
And it's okay to be different. It's okay to try different stuff,
So we're almost done. And before we go, I want to do one more quick sculpture. Oh, sorry about that.
How much time do we got, Mama?
We got about
10 minutes.
10 minutes. So we're going to do a quick one. So you're going to have to keep up with us or go watch it on the YouTube one. We're going to make something I came up with not too long ago is a brand new rose technique.
Oh, yeah.
So nobody has seen this one yet. So we're going to take a regular 260, dark green or lime. Blow it up. It doesn't matter how much you blow it up. We're going to end up getting rid of the tail anyways. So we're going to do 3 flower petals, about 3 fingers. And we're going to leave them spread out like that. Next, we're going to take our 6-inch Q-link, 5-inch, 6-inch.
I think it's a 6-inch.
And we're going to blow it up about 5 inches and tie it. And then we're going to wrap the nozzle end into the cluster of flower petals that we make. And make sure it's wrapped in there real tight. And then wrap the nozzle in so you can't see it. And then we're going to take a 260. Whoa!
Everybody awake.
And about 4 fingers on the tail. We're not going to use the whole thing. We're going to make 3 pinch twists. Any size, 1 finger, 2 fingers, doesn't matter. You know what? I'll do 4 pinch twists. Okay. So, once we have that, we're going to take our link part and we're going to wrap that into our pinch twist. And this is also very important too. Although we wrapped it, we want to go the opposite way and roll the quick link around and make sure that it's tight, because when we're going to be pulling the 260 around the quick link, and we want to make sure that it looks really good and tight, and it has to be wrapped in tight right there. So now that we've got this, we've got our quick link, our 260 here with 4 pinch twists. We're going to basically squeeze it to make sure it's soft, and we're going to start wrapping around. And then we're going to stop. After, about 2 full wraparounds, we're going to stop. We're going to break the bubble. This is the really cool part. This is the cool part. We're going to get rid of the air here at the end, so that all I have left is just this extra latex right here. So I'm going to wrap it around, and I'm going to pull it under all this stuff that I've been wrapping. So it pulls itself under. And then once I get to the original spot where I was, I'm going to wrap it in a curved fashion, going angled along the balloon. Because roses kind of have like that folded in kind of look. And this could also be doubled as a cupcake. So you have that nice little streamlined petal that's coming. I'm just tucking this little knot in right there so you don't see it. And then I'm going to come down. First I'll do my 160. I'm doing a dark green and then 160 line.
This little addition makes it look very nice.
So all I'm doing here is just wrapping it in to my flower petals. And then I'm candy caning it, twisting it, making a couple flower petals, small, doesn't matter, random size. Sorry, brother.
Man, I love that rose.
Quick link rose, super, super awesome. Have not done it in public or anything yet. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I hope you guys like it. This has been ridiculously awesome. We feel very humbled and appreciative that you guys had us here, that Qualitex had us here.
Well, we never expected, when we started balloons, we never expected anything like this.
Nothing like this.
So we are in a place, in a moment, which is unexpected for us. And so we're very thankful, not just the Qualitex, but the entire balloon community.
We love you guys more than you could ever imagine. You guys have no idea.
So how much time we got left, Mama? We got 5 minutes left.
5 minutes. Should we milk it?
I think we should see if anybody's got a good question for him. That's what I think.
Anybody got a good question? We're looking at the chat right now. Anybody got a question?
Let's see. I got a good question for you.
Sure. What's a good question?
What is your favorite balloon to make?
My favorite balloon to make of all time is Yoshi from Mario Brothers.
Oh, all right.
Love Yoshi.
Very good. Now, let's see. We did a lot of geos today.
Yep.
What made you get into investing time in geos?
Qualitex has a lot of strange and unique stock, and I'm a very strange and unique guy, so I can relate to their artistry, and I'm just a person who likes to do things differently. And I see not many people using geos for sculptures. Mostly people use them for just tires and things like that, or bases for bring-along pieces. And I just wanted to see what geos could be done in the functional world. And I think there's some really awesome stuff. We haven't even cracked the surface of what geos have to offer.
Hey guys,
Hey, brother.
thank you very
so
much.
much.
I have to say, I was absolutely glued to that from start to finish. Loved every single part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I love the panda, and I like the idea that the guys had about the bison and things. If we can get a mocha, yeah, we feel on that as well. Love the ice cream too. I mean, I like the idea of a like little tiny kid walking around with this ginormous ice cream. It's ridiculous, right? I mean, everybody's going to want to stop, take photographs, ask for a business card. Yeah. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic.
I love the turtle.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity to do this. And thanks for your hard work, guys.
Yeah, thank you for your hard work.
Thanks for joining in.
You guys make it a lot easier for us, right?
Exactly.
There was a lot of chatter. There's a lot of love. I mean, the golden nuggets that were flying past the screen at times. I know there's going to be come this summer. You know, once we're allowed back out and everything, your designs are going to be flying everywhere. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for sharing that brand new rose as well.
Yeah, I love that addition of the quick link. It really makes that a fantastic design. So yes, thank you for sharing.
Thank you guys for everything. Love you guys. Check out our YouTube, Balloon Brothers, our Instagram, Balloon Brothers Tutorials, our other Facebook page. Anything you guys want to do, anything you want to know, please contact us. We're here to help and make everybody in the community be their absolute best.
Awesome. Don't forget to dive on in the chat again and say hi to everyone and share those details. I know you're on there before, but dive back in again and please share those, because I'm sure people will want to check you out some more as well after that. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Keith and John.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Bye for now.